Hey guys, it's me, Learn with Goofy. And well, last time, the second video, we didn't do much for a start in Scratch, but well, we did the basics for any game. Well, what we did was positioning our sprites or characters in the place we wanted and writing the code that whenever we move the sprites, that they come back to their actual position. This time, we're going to prepare ourselves for our game we're going to make in the next episode. This time, we're going to learn how to use the for loop, or also called the forever loop. And then we're also, in the forever loop, going to learn how to change costumes of any sprite. Well, why don't we dig in? As we see, our costume, not costume, our game first code. If we click see inside, we immediately hop into the project. As you see, our last time's code is not much. And as you see, this was our code. Well, if this block seems new to you, I will explain you what it does because I've added it and I'd say you also add it. As you see, my cat has turned into its second costume, like it's hovering in the air in the mid of running. And that's kind of not so nice to see, right, when you click the green flag or start the game. So if you say switch costume to costume 1, which block, this block, you find it in the looks category. Well, if you got that block and place it there, you can guess what happens. Which this block does is when you click the green flag, it makes the cat return to its costume of the standing, which looks better than hovering in the air. Well, if I click the green flag, as you see, it works. Well, today we want to discuss about the forever loop. What is the forever loop? Well, if we see that, we first need to know where to find it. Well, you find it in the controls section. If you click on controls, you see this block, forever. Well, there are many blocks here, but it's easily to understand that this is a forever loop because there is, in white, the word forever written on it. So I think you can find that. Once you've got the forever loop, if you put it underneath our code, actually nothing will happen. Everything will stay same. Because as the forever loop already shows itself, it is just a block which plays a code inside it when it's there or when it's told to play some code. Well, in this case, the forever loop is under some code, yes, but it does not have some code inside here to play. Well, if I go here and put set x to minus 189, it would not do anything right now because it is already doing that. Well, what it is doing right now is it is reading this code, set x to minus 189, and then it's doing that. Then, as you see, the code comes to an end. Then, once it's came to an end, it again hops on to the start. And as you see, this time it's only one block, so it always does the same block again and again, forever. Well, what it now does is it forever sets the x position, which is for this side to this side of the screen, which is like this would be 0, like the exact middle. The little to the left would be a little in the minus, a little to the right would be a little in the plus category, and so on. So as you see, if I click this and I change the position of the cat, it will come back to its original position, which is x minus 189. But you may feel, no, you're not right. Its original position is here. Well, yes, you're right, but it's always on the correct place of x, which is right and left, and x is not for up and down. So, as long as it's here, or here, its x stays the same. But if it's here, its x is different. So if I let it go, it goes back to its x. And if I duplicate this set y to -3 and put it under it and click it, now actually it will always go to the same spot because both x and y are set. But in this case, we don't need these blocks. As I told you before, we want to change the costumes today. And as you see in the costumes category, our cat has 2 costumes, which are running. And it would be great if we make our cat to run. Well, it is also interesting, and we'll also learn how to make this code. Well, firstly, how do we write in code that this cat should change this costume to this costume? Well, we already learned that, but an easier way would be just saying next costume, which is in the looks category. If you see this block and drag it in the forever loop, could you guess what will happen? Well, if you do guess, you're very good. But if you don't, there's no need to be sad. We are just starting in scratch and you're just a starter. So, always starters make mistakes. Sometimes they don't understand things. And that's not sad or bad. That rhymes. Well, because we are learning. And now let's check out what happens. The cat is really fast changing its costumes. Well, why? Because Scratch is just like many other programming languages. It is super smart, and it does things super fast because it's super smart. So, we need to tell Scratch, hey Scratch, wait some seconds before you immediately change to the next costume. And this is actually there also in blocks. If you go to the controls category, the first block which awaits you is the same block which we need. So if you drag this wait 1 second block underneath the costume, as you see, it always waits 1 second and then changes the costumes. Well, this looks better. But the problem is, obviously, a cat does not stay on the same position and run. Well, it of course goes forward. Well, for that, we just need to go to the motions category and change Y by maybe 10 every time before we wait. This would mean, oh, I'm sorry, not Y. Did you get the problem? It's X. Y would be going up. X is what we need, going to the side. Well, this would just mean every time we change a costume, we are going 10 steps forward in the X line. Well, there's just one problem to this code. It perfectly works until we hit the edge. Could you guess what will happen? Well, it's kind of easy to understand. The cat goes till the edge, but then it just goes against it's like going against a wall, and then it can't get any further. So what we want it to do is go back to its original position and walk again till it hits the wall, and again go back to its original position again until it hits a wall. And as you see, the cat got stuck now and can't go anywhere else. So for that, I need to introduce you the second most important block or loop in any programming language. Well, I could almost say it's the most important. It's called the if loop. Well, if you go to the controls category, you see this block called if blank space and then. Well, you can put any block which has this hexagon shape into this field. Like if you go to the operators category, you see these things? You can put all of these into this space. And you can also put some blocks of the sensing category, some blocks of the variables. Well, not exactly the variables. I think only the operators and the sensing category have this shape blocks. Well, actually, by coincidence, the block which I removed from the operators category and put it in the if loop is actually very useful for us. Well, because as you see, its x position is 270 right now. And if we go to motions and we see, if we scroll down, we see these circular or oval blocks. And if we pull out the X position block and put greater than in the slot greater than and type 279 or 269, now what will happen is, what the if loop will do is, it will check this blank space, which is now this block, X position is greater than 269. Well, is it greater than 269? It always says true or false. In this case, it's true, so the code inside it will run. But if it's false, it won't run. And if it's true, what do we want to do? We want to go back to this X and Y position. So if we just go to motions, we have one single block for that. And we can just make it minus 189 and Y is correct. And if we put it under or above the wait 1 seconds block, what it will do is in every time before waiting, it will check, is the X position greater than 269? Well, if it is, it will go back to the position we told it to, and then it will again change the next costume and walk to the edge. Let's see if it's working. Well, firstly, it's working as we know. It's changing costume and it's walking forward. We'll just have to wait a little until it reaches the edge. Well, the cat always takes a long time. Well, if you want the cat to be faster, you can of course change this waiting time. You can make it less, like 0.5. Now it does it faster. And as you see, our cat came back to the starting position when it hit the edge. Well, isn't that cool? Well, guys, now you understood how to make a basic code for a cat or any sprite to walk. And now you can even implement it on that dinosaur. Maybe you can make that dinosaur attack the cat and make a fierce growl. Well, you don't know how to make a fierce growl, don't you? For that, you just need to go into the sounds category. And then here you have many sounds. This is a meow. Well, you heard it. And this is a bite. Funny noises. But if you don't like these two noises, you can always go to choose a sound, and you have thousands of sounds here, and you can choose one. And to add one, you just need to go to code, go to sounds category, and play a sound, suppose bite, until done. And let's say when we go back to our position, we should play a sound bite. And let's say we are already here. And it should make a sound now. Well, let's see. Well, you see, that worked. And now try to make your own project in Scratch. In the next video or the next episode, we're going to make our own game in Scratch. In that, we're going to add all the new interesting things we have learned and also learn a new theme called variables. Well, are you interested? Tell me in the comments. Oh guys, if you like this video, please remember to subscribe and like. Well, this was Learn It Goofy, and see you next time. Bye!